What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
I'm getting on across. Hold on. Here. Yeah, hold on.
All right. Congrats, Rachel.
So, it got destroyed at the box office. Here's the box office numbers. The Minecraft movie made $60 million on Saturday. Snow White made 2.
Weird.
When a cartoon like Family Guy ends up saying exactly what millions of moviegoers have been thinking, you have to stop and wonder, has Disney finally lost control of its own narrative? What began as a seemingly harmless animated gag quickly transformed into a cultural lightning rod, exposing deep-rooted frustrations bubbling beneath the surface of Disney's global fandom. And caught in the whirlwind? Rachel Zegler, an undeniably talented young actress who's inadvertently become the face of a growing identity crisis at one of the most influential companies in entertainment history.
Where we can entertain responsibly, obviously we try to do that. We try to have a positive impact on the world. But the first thing we need to do is entertain.
Disney dropped nearly $250 million trying to rebrand Snow White. And in return, Family Guy turned the entire project into a joke. Not just the movie, the company, the casting, the entire era of Disney's woke reboots. And the wildest part? They didn't even have to mention Rachel Zegler by name. The message was loud, brutal, and clear. This wasn't just a cheap gag. It was a full-on attack. And it hit hard because audiences are already exhausted. Exhausted by forced reinventions. Exhausted by moral lectures disguised as movies. And right now, Rachel Zegler is becoming the face of all of it. In one of the show's more biting segments, Peter Griffin stumbles through Disneyland with confusion plastered on his face. But the real punchline isn't in his dialogue, it's behind him. A roller coaster dives in the background with a sign slapped on it that reads, Disney stock. That's not subtle. That's a full-blown takedown. It's Family Guy saying what many have been whispering for years, Disney's empire is in freefall, and their obsession with woke rebranding is dragging them down with it. It doesn't stop there. Peter later watches TV and comments, wow, that girl is hot. His friend corrects him, that's a boy. This happens multiple times, each instance getting more absurd. Eventually, Peter breaks down and yells, what is everything?
That's a guy.
That other guy's handsome.
That's a girl.
That cat is cute.
That's a dog.
What is everything?
It's hilarious, chaotic, and oddly relatable. That single line has taken on a life of its own, becoming a viral meme because it captures how so many viewers feel everything's being changed, redefined, renamed, and no one's allowed to question it. Family Guy turned that confusion into comedy with deadly precision. But let's be honest, Family Guy wasn't the first to throw punches. South Park didn't just mock Disney. They reverse-engineered its entire strategy and burned it down piece by piece. In their now infamous special episode, Joining the Panderverse, they introduce a parody of Disney executive Kathleen Kennedy. Yes, the real-life president of Lucasfilm. But this version of her carries a magical artifact called the Panderstone, which she uses to insert diverse women into every franchise.
I'm replacing them with diverse women complaining about the patriarchy. Will you check under the bed and make sure there's no Disney executives under there?
I promise there's not.
I'm scared, Mom. Will you please just look and make sure Kathleen Kennedy isn't under my bed?
Regardless of logic or consistency, it's over-the-top satire, but it struck a nerve in that episode. Cartman gets trapped in a multiverse where every classic character has been replaced by a self-righteous, miserable version of a diverse archetype. While the entire scenario plays out like a fever dream, the message is razor-sharp. Corporate identity politics have replaced storytelling. Then came the line that set the internet ablaze. Kennedy steps forward, arms raised in triumph, and declares, put a chick in it and make her gay. That single sentence became the unofficial slogan for what critics see as Disney's shallow diversity formula. Forced, formulaic, hollow, the roast didn't stay animated. George Lucas himself, the man who gave us Star Wars, publicly criticized the creative direction Disney took after acquiring his beloved franchise. During a panel, Lucas made jabs about the lack of originality, hinting that the heart had been stripped out of the saga. The crowd laughed, but it wasn't all fun and games. There was discomfort under the surface, because if he was speaking out, things had clearly gone too far. But amid this cultural roasting, one figure kept coming up again and again, Rachel Zegler. Cast as Snow White in Disney's controversial reboot.
I say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed on.
Saying that audiences will always line up to see her no matter what she does.
Every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
You know what's interesting about all of this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was
Please?
Rachel Zegler.
she quickly became the face of the backlash. From day one, her casting sparked heated debate. In the original Brothers Grimm tale, Snow White is famously described as having skin as white as snow. So when Disney cast a Latina actress in the role, critics saw it as a betrayal of the original text. Others defended the decision, arguing that modern adaptations should reflect today's diverse world. Either way, the internet exploded. Zegler didn't back down. She clapped back with TikToks and interviews, standing firm on her casting and the importance of modern representation. But then she took it a step further. She began publicly criticizing the original Snow White. She called it outdated, weird, and even implied the prince was problematic. That's where many fans drew the line.
It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
If you're going to take on an iconic role, the least you can do is show some love for the original. Instead, it felt like she was burning the foundation she was standing on. And the drama didn't stop there, it got political. Rachel Zegler was one of many Hollywood figures to sign an open letter calling for a ceasefire in Gaza during the ongoing Israel-Palestine conflict. That alone sparked debate, but the real powder keg was her co-star, Gal Gadot. Gadot, who plays the evil queen, is famously pro-Israel and even served in the Israeli Defense Forces. Suddenly, what was supposed to be a fairy tale turned into a flashpoint for global politics. The fallout? Lebanon banned the film entirely, not because of Zegler, but due to Gadot's involvement, as she's long been on the country's boycott list. Then came the moment that made everything painfully real, Zegler walking into an empty movie theater. She posted a video of herself carrying a bouquet of flowers into a screening of Snow White, her own movie. But the seats? Nearly all empty. It was supposed to be a cute viral moment. Instead, it turned into a meme. Viewers online joked that she brought flowers to a funeral. Others called it the loneliest premiere in Disney history. It became a symbol of just how far off the mark the film had landed. The numbers confirmed what everyone feared. With a budget rumored to be between $240 and $270 million, Snow White only managed to scrape in around $184 million globally. It didn't even break even. Insiders later revealed that part of the blame lay with the public perception of Zegler. Her interviews, her social media presence, her perceived disrespect of the original, all of it contributed to a growing resentment online. Jonah Platt, son of the film's producer Mark Platt, even said publicly that her attitude hurt the movie. So what did Disney learn from this $250 million disaster? Apparently, not much, because now, they're gearing up for their most expensive remake yet, a live-action version of Tangled. And guess who's reportedly attached? Yep, Rachel Zegler. The film is projected to cost over $500 million once marketing is included. That's right, $500 million. And the backlash has already begun, long before filming has even started. It's not about whether Zegler can sing or act. Most people agree she's talented. It's about perception. Audiences feel like they're being sold a brand instead of a story. And when that brand has already lost trust, you're not just selling a movie, you're asking viewers to forget everything that came before. And now, even Disney's own properties are starting to turn on them. The Simpsons, long known for their razor-sharp satire, have been inching closer to the Disney drama. Remember, The Simpsons are owned by Disney. And yet, they've already made jabs at Marvel fatigue, Star Wars burnout, and the endless remake cycle. They've hinted at the cracks forming inside the empire. And if The Simpsons finally go full roast mode on Snow White or the Tangled remake, it won't just be a joke. It'll be a cultural moment, because The Simpsons still have credibility. When South Park makes fun of something, it's edgy. When Family Guy does it, it's offensive. But when The Simpsons weigh in, it feels like the whole room is nodding. If they go after Rachel Zegler or Disney's reboot strategy, it won't just be funny, it'll be a sign that Disney has lost the room. That the very thing they own is now laughing at them. This was never just about one actress, or one bad movie, or even the trolls online. This is about trust. Once upon a time, Disney stood for timeless storytelling, fairy tales, magic, characters you could believe in. Now, they're selling reboots wrapped in lectures. And people aren't just rejecting the movies, they're walking away from the brand. The question isn't whether the next roast is coming. It is. The only question now is, who delivers the final blow? Family Guy did it. South Park obliterated it. The Simpsons are circling. And if Disney doesn't course correct soon, the next punchline might just be their legacy itself.